Hello, our beloved teachers, sector coordinators, champion teachers, leaders in education, Ttp staff, all partners of Ttp. Welcome once again on Ttp television news. This is, of course, teacher journalist Mukaraji Eric, together with teacher journalist Rafash Emmanuel. Hi, Mr. Emmanuel.
I'm good. How are you doing, Mr. Mukarage?
I'm very okay, Mr. Emmanuel. Our today news focus is about face-to-face training provided by Ttp. Teacher did from Tuesday across 14 districts in Rwanda, talking about the vision of Ttp teacher and gender-responsive pedagogy, teaching mathematics and science in times of corona, audio lesson, and so on. Mr. Emmanuel will be having different interviews from teachers, champion teachers, leaders in education, director of Ttp, and some photos.
Eric Mukaraje, that's really good. In this ending week, we had a message from Ttp director, Dr. Erin, who is always encouraging teachers to upgrade knowledge in their respective subject, as well as improving English proficiency in order to increase the number of girls and boys pursuing math and sciences as the main objectives of AIM's teacher training program. So, Eric, in her opening remark, Ttp director Erin said that over 2,000 teachers across 14 districts on 52 centers celebrate transition of online trainings to blended trainings. Dr. Erin advised teachers to build the community of respect, share ideas, learn from one another, and how we can like our kind of teaching, especially math and science subject. So, Eric, let us listen her message.
Today is the first time that we'll have teachers, over 2,000 of us, meeting across 14 districts in 52 centers for our training program. And you all know that we're doing this coming out of a very intense session of online training. And today we want to celebrate the transition from online training to blended training. So when you're talking about blended training, you're talking about online training and face-to-face. And I believe each one of us will be really excited to meet some of the faces, the people that we've been interacting with online through the various conversations and discussions that we've had in the last 3 months. Of course, I would really love to have to visit each center, but I can't do it across the 52 training centers. But over time, I should be able to visit every center, and I'm looking forward to meeting each one of you. Now, I just want to say something that I know that amongst the people who are here today for our training are fellow teachers who are not able to join us in the last 3 months for our online training. And I know some of you are not very happy with us because, well, we stopped giving you the bundles, and some of you were quite upset about that. But you see, we must always account for every resource that we use. So if you're giving bundles for teacher training and because of one reason or another you are not able to join into the training, it is only fair that we stop giving you the bundle. So please don't hold that into your heart and don't let it stop you from interacting with your fellow teachers. So very quickly, I just want to say, what are we going to do in this first session? This is like opening day. This is like a day when we open, we meet, and we put together some of the key things. We want to collect data about you. Who are the teachers? What are your names? What are your account details, just in case there are reimbursements that have to be given, like your transport. But also we want to meet one another. So the first session, this first session, is about knowing one another. Let us stand up, introduce ourselves, say which subject we teach, and also say in one sentence why you like teaching, especially teaching mathematics and science. And this is an important part because one key definition of AIM's TTP teachers is that we are a community, we are connected, we learn from one another, we give value to one another. And so I just want to emphasize something. Let's give value to knowing one another. Of course, respecting the coronavirus health guidelines. But the other thing I want to emphasize is respect from one another. If you're community members, when you stay in a family, you respect one another. And every member of the family has a right to be part of the family. There's no big member of the family and small member of the family. There's no king and there's no queen. We all value one another. So as we come to sit together and interact, let's respect each other. Let's allow each one of us to share their ideas. Even if I'm from which kind of school, School of Excellence, Y12, Y9, it doesn't really matter. The common denominator is that we are teachers. But the other thing I want to also emphasize, which is in our booklet in the first page, as a community, we have individual responsibility. As a person, I must really track and check, am I putting enough effort as an individual? Am I contributing as much as I could contribute? Because if I contribute, then my brother or sister might learn from it. So individual responsibility, but also communal sharing. So what I have is yours in terms of knowledge. Let's share one with another. Let's be able to share what you expect in your classroom, of what's been going on in your classroom. And then finally, the other thing I want to talk about is, as we begin today, let's create a framework for engagement. How is it that we want to engage with one another? What are some of the rules that we must follow? And as we set those rules, let's remember what defines us. We are a community. AIMS teacher, training program teachers, we value connection, relationship before even correcting one another. So it's connections before corrections. And that comes with respect and valuing learning from one another. Don't say, I teach a senior 6, so I can't learn from a senior 1. No, you could. You can actually even learn from your students. And don't say, I'm from senior 1, so I can't speak. So all that is part of what I want to really emphasize in the first session as we start. As you're sitting here in your center, remember there are thousands of other teachers meeting in other centers. And all of us are here for one purpose: to become better teachers so that we can improve the quality of teaching and learning of mathematics and sciences. Let's have a good time in our first session. And welcome on board to our blended training. Looking forward to seeing each one of you soon when I visit your centers. Thank you.
Again, we have some different photos of teachers in their respective groups activity from different districts. So, Mr. Emmanuel, let us see. Mr. Emmanuel, our Ttp Tv ambassador Clementine asked question to teacher Ingabire Marie Rose about what she celebrated during 2 days face-to-face training, and said that was very happy to meet with her fellow teachers and that she gained more skills will be used in her teaching and learning process, like implementation of social distancing among learners and applying health measures indoor and outdoor classroom. Let us welcome her.
In this 2 days face-to-face training, I'm very happy because I meet with my colleagues from different sectors. In this training, I gained the skills I will use in my teaching process during this COVID-19 pandemic in order to transmission the coronavirus in my school community. Those skills include how to implement the social distancing and mobilization, how to use the hand sanitizer and wearing facing mask. In this training, I gained the skills about my subject by discussing master content, where we have discussed and sharing ideas on the model question. Finally, I appreciate Ttp for this opportunity and has provided to mathematics and science teachers.
We have a message of teacher from Nyabihu district who talked about what they discussed in their center, like how to teach and how to prepare math and science reasons in terms of corona, and to take care of students who engaged in business when schools will be reopened. Let us welcome him.
My name is Nchimimana Alexi. In these last two days, we have discussed a lot of things. Those are things that can celebrate them. And you have seen how we can teach in this time of corona. Like you can see students are going to get back to school and they have met so many things when they were home. Those are things may be disturbance or whatever, and you have seen together how we can solve them. We have seen that these students have met different things. For example, some have entered in a business activity, so they have money. And together with the teachers, we have discussed about how we are going to take care of these students. And you have seen that in this training that the most thing we are going to do is to have discussion with them and show them the importance of studying. And you have seen together how to prepare lessons according to the time we left here. The cross-cutting issues we will have to insert in the lessons we are going to teach according to the experience Corona gave us. Those are the things we have discussed together, and there is other things very important we have discussed. There are some lessons that seem difficult to teach, and you have seen together as teachers how you can prepare a lesson and include all possible things that a student may need. And we have seen also how to behave while school reopens. Like you can see as teachers, we are the best practitioners of these COVID-19 measures. We have seen that we have to be example first of all, wear mask correctly so that students will see us as examples and start practicing such measures. And we have seen that it is us who are going to help these students. We are going to arrange in accordance so that this COVID will go forever.
Mr. Emmanuel, we have a teacher Godwin from Kamonyi district said that from face-to-face training she will use gender responsive in her teaching and applying health measures and she will gain how to make a lesson enjoyable using simulation, ICT tool, and so on. Let us listen her.
After attending this face-to-face training when school opened, it will help me to perform well my career of teaching. So I have get many information related to how I can use gender-responsive pedagogy, support and monitoring student engagement with learning outside school, where I identify the capacity of learners in their home community or environment. I have known policies to guide the teaching and learning of mathematics and science. As a teacher, I must obey and don't misconduct all the measures stated by the government to prevent the spread of COVID-19. I gathered some of the psychosocial impact on learners, such as I have seen in this face-to-face training how to deliver the lesson as lesson structure, English proficiency, making lesson enjoyable by using animation and stimulation in my lesson using ICT tools, encouraging active listening, and so on.
Eric, we have Ttp Tv ambassador Fabie interviewed teacher Fidel, a trainee in Nyanza district, who appreciated AIM's commitment for teachers to increase the number of girls and boys pursuing math and sciences, and thanking Ttp director Dr. Irene and its staff. Fidel also said that we learned more through Ttp online and face-to-face trainings, like how to put in practice health measures. Let us listen his message.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Hiren and all members of Ttp for this good training. They trained for all science teacher in all those 14 districts where this training is being conducted. Concerning to the question you asked me, this training is helpful to me as it is a time of being ready within the start of the school. As I shared the idea with my colleague and learn from one another how we will work by the time we go back to school. Not only sharing the idea, but learn how we put into practice all the measures or the rules set by the Ministry of Education concerning to the way of teaching in this time, during this time of COVID, yes. Where we have to respect the rules concerning to washing the hands before we enter and the school, checking the runner's temperature, yes. And other rules concerning to how to avoid the spread of COVID-19. Those are the things which I have captured during this training, and I'm ready to start when the school will be open.
Mr. Emmanuel, we have Ttp Tv ambassador Donata from Gicumbi district interviewed Sector Education Inspector Mukeshman Christine, talking about what this blended training will help her with teacher in the teaching when the school will be reopened, and started with appreciation of way Ttp prepared the face-to-face training, the content teacher used, and she will encourage schools leaders to provide the materials to teachers used in teaching and learning process. Let us welcome them.
For this training, I celebrate first of all preparation of training, content, participation of trainees, and our facilitator are able to give the content of this training. I said that. About my help to teachers, I will encourage school leaders to help teachers, such as to provide school materials and so on. Thank you.
In Ttp Tv studio, we have an interview of a teacher called Deo Gracias from Kamoni district, who talked about the benefit of AIM's teacher training program, like to keep increasing the number of girls and boys pursuing math and sciences, and how they will put in practice health measures for preventing the spread of COVID pandemic when schools will be reopened. So, Eric, let us listen his message.
The benefit of this training, before I have seen the training which was online, it was interesting and help us, but now we are in training which are face-to-face. Also, this training helps us to review what you have do on online training. And as we see, now we are in revising what we have studied on online, but also we are in preparing the reopening of school. As the MZ general rules, to improve the number of girls in our school, the number of girls who participate in science and in mathematics. We have focused how we can encourage or how can help our learner, the girls and boys, to love mathematics and science. But also, as you know, we still in the times of COVID-19. We have seen how we can help our learner to prevent on the COVID-19. The preparation, we'll see how together what we can do to avoid to be attacked by COVID on teachers and on our learners. And we still also see how can we put or how we can teach our learner in order to become good in mathematics and in science, because we have seen the topic was on the mastery of content. Thank you.
Again, we have a presentation activity in the classroom. That's why I want to show our followers the teacher at the same time, DOS from Kamoni district, presented outcomes from his group discussion on the chalkboard. Let us give him welcome.
Mathematics and science. So you have to encourage them to tell the girls that you are able to learn, you are able to learn science like boys. You have to encourage them. And if later you have to give some illustrations showing that this one, Dr. Helena, is a doctor in physics, you show some illustration to show the girls that, and you also are able.
Dear our followers, we interviewed different teachers who benefited more from AIM's teacher training program. For instance, a teacher Rosette from Kamoni district has been shaped into a new professional teacher in English proficiency, and she kept mastering her content during this corona outbreak. So from this, she decided to create math and science clubs when schools will be reopened in order to increase the number of girls and boys pursuing math and sciences, as well as integrating ICT in education. So let us listen her message. Welcome, Teacher Rosette.
Benefit I gained from AIMS TTP online and face-to-face trainings.
The first one, those trainings shaped me in English proficiency, where my level of understanding and listening have been improved, so that I will communicate effectively with my learners in the English language. The second one, I have been trained on how I can integrate ICT in education through ICDL trainings and accessing social media. The third one, during this corona outbreak, AIMS TTP online and face-to-face trainings helped me to master content, especially some unity which are likely to be difficult. And from this, when I will be back to school, it will help me to increase the number of girls and boys pursuing math and sciences through creating mathematics and science clubs. Uh, I have also practiced how to group learners by respecting health measures like social distancing, proper wearing of face masks, and so on.
We have Halenimana Zashe, those of GS Lemeralcom from Kamonyi district, said that he will prepare the meeting with her teachers and share experience with them about what he gained from face-to-face trainings, like respecting health measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Let us also give him welcome.
After this training, firstly I will prepare a meeting with fellow teachers to share with them experience that I gained from AIMS TTP blended trainings. Secondly, I will encourage teachers and learners to wash hands often by using soap and water or using hand sanitizer. We will encourage teachers and learners and all peoples entering the school to wear a mask. Next is to maintain social distancing from anyone. Another one is to encourage teachers and anyone, don't touch the air's noise or mouth. To take human temperature before entering in school is also a measure that we will take. In a class, we will use social distancing. By respecting social distancing, we will respect when we will arrange our desks. Thank you very much.
Eric, in AIMS TTP TV studio, we have an interview of teacher Muhaimana Samueli, a champion teacher and a district coordinator, who coordinated both online and face-to-face trainings at Esiru Togwe Center from Kamonyi district. Samuel Muhaimana talked about advantages of AIMS teacher training program for both teachers and students, talked about challenges they have faced as district coordinator in both trainings and some recommendation to AIMS TTP staff. Let us listen his message. Welcome, teacher Samuel Muhaiman.
The advantages for online, you have seen that in this during coronavirus period, we had flipped training where we used online only by shooting some videos and recording our audios and even preparing of hands-out to give trainees. Trainees were motivated. There is some key points they have told me regarding to this online training. They have said that this online training helped them to get skills on a different aspect. As you know, we have trained on ICD. Trainees has again skills on how to use a computer. Another challenge, it's about the bundles. Bundles, sometimes teachers give their phones numbers, but they miss some bundles. But due to that, maybe Amos is using the previous list. If they ask us some new bundles or the new phone for bundles, they don't use it. Maybe they are not using the current list we are giving them. The challenge are not so many. It's about the claimings of those bundles, but now it seems it's going to be solved. Even though there is some challenges, there is some recommendations. Teachers, they are recommending EMUZ, TTP, RWANDA, so that they can update the system they are using, because the teachers have claimed that list given, teachers are seems to be missing on the list, telling that they have not participated in online training, but so far they did. They are recommending EMUZ that they can update the system they are using, so that each teacher who participated on online training or face-to-face training, they can be visible on those shareable lists. There's another recommendation. There seems that ICD training via online somehow is challenging, somehow difficult, because some practicals are not done, so that trainees can see what is being done and they ask some questions. So they are recommending EMUZ, if possible, EMUZ can train those trainers of ICD how to use computer sharing by using application called Team. Microsoft Team, it has a software, or it has features where you can share a screen, and then you teach trainers or teach students when you don't together, and those trainers or those trainees, they can be able to ask different questions step by step by seeing on shareable screen. So those modules of ICDL can be taught through screen sharing on a computer. There's another thing they are wishing: during activity of bundles, TTP may be still using the previous or the list of teachers. I have said this about the bundles of the current list or previous list. They have corrected that ones. Also, they are wondering why facilities in terms of money of transport lunch are delaying. So they wish that if there is those facilities, it can be better if not delaying, so that they can get those money EMUZ has expected to them.
Mr. Emmanuel, now we have a message of Dr. Erin, Director of EMUZ TTP, gives us a summary of what was going on during face-to-face training, and commented on the message tweeted by His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of Republic of Rwanda. Let us listen, Dr. Erin.
Thank you, Mr. Eric Mukaragi, and of course, your battery of journalists, for giving me another opportunity to say something on the AIMS Teacher Training Program TV news. And this was a very special week because we were able to gather over 1,800 mathematics and science teachers from across 14 districts in 2 days. And we were able to have over 48 training locations across the 14 districts having trainings at the same time. And the only reason we were able to do that was because of the dedication of our teachers, the dedication of our teachers who were district coordinators and sector coordinators, but also the immense support that we got from the district directors of education, the district education officers, and our sector education officers. And so from here, first and foremost, I just want to say murakoze chane to everybody for turning up, and not just turning up, for being actively involved. One of the things I want to tell all of us, and I want us to still think about as we go back to our staff rooms, because just like we meet in the districts, we are together in our staff rooms every day, and the conversation needs to continue. And one of the things I would like us to remember is that we are a community of teachers. We learn from one another. We talk to one another. We build one another. So I want to encourage us as we go back, let's work towards applying everything that we learned, and let the excitement, the joy, the sense of determination, the Maui Karambe spirit be birthed right in our schools and right in our classrooms. As the students come back this week on November 2nd, I want to imagine that we will baptize our students in the Maui Karambe spirit. Let them know that it's about dedication, it's about pushing, it's about putting every effort. And as I finish, I just want to remind all our teachers, I want to read a tweet from the President Paul Kagame, and this is something he said sometime earlier on in this year, and it is very, very important. It says, learning is essential, but it must be followed by action. Remember, this is President Kagame himself who was talking. He said, learning is essential, but it must be followed by actions. If you do not apply what you learn, you will not achieve your goals. Teaching must have a purpose. This is still President Kagame talking. He says, teaching must have a purpose. I want us to find a way to match what we learn with our actions and our purpose. We must find a way to match what we learn with our purpose and our action. So what's our purpose as AIMS TTP teachers? Our purpose is to improve the quality of teaching and learning in our classrooms so that we can have more girls and boys wanting to do science when they finish secondary school. And it means we have to start thinking about that from S1. We must make our classes enjoyable, but we must also teach in a way that our students will be able to learn and do well in the exams. And so may I finish this by telling all our teachers, we learned a lot during the launch of our blended training program. May I persuade you, may I exhort you to go back to school and act accordingly. Let your teaching be impacted by what you learned. And we're looking forward for more interactions online and, of course, other physical meetings. So let's continue with our spirit. Remember, we are a community. We have individual responsibility to build ourselves, but we also take every opportunity to share. I would love to hear stories about math and science teachers sitting in their staff rooms to share and to learn together. For now, let's continue with our spirit. Let's go on with the spirit of persistence. Mawe Karambe. Murakoze Chane. See you soon.
Thank you, our beloved followers. Thank you, Mr. Eric. Thank you, our TV technician, Kalangwa Innocent. Bye-bye.
Bye.